morning, Ms. Dennis. Ma'am, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing 6 months in jail and a $2,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you.
On September 12, 2024, officers observed a vehicle blocking a moving lane of traffic at the 13600 block of Katy Freeway North Service Road in Harris County, Texas. The vehicle was turned off, had no lights, and was in the rightmost lane and was at a high risk of being hit by other drivers due to it being nighttime with no street lights in the area. Officers observed the vehicle had no front driver's side tire, and the wheel itself was ground down from driving on the road with no tire. The defendant was in the driver's seat and was the only occupant of the vehicle. The key fob was in the center console. The defendant was crying and saying how she was sorry and saying she is drunk. The defendant said she was driving from a bar and was on her way home. The defendant did not know the name of the bar, and the defendant said she did not know what happened to the tire. Officers observed a strong odor of an alcoholic beverage, slurred speech, glossy bloodshot eyes, very poor balance, and the defendant continued to grab onto the officer's arms for balance. The defendant continuously cried, saying that she was sorry, that she was extremely drunk, wants to go home, and that her mother is on the way to get her. As standard field sobriety tests were administered, HGN 6 out of 6, the defendant had extreme difficulty following instructions for keeping her neck still during the HGN. Walk and turn was 7 out of 8, and one leg stand was 4 out of 4. On the way to JPC, the defendant urinated inside the patrol vehicle and outside the patrol vehicle once she exited the vehicle. The defendant refused to provide a sample. A blood search warrant was obtained and executed.
Got it. Ms. Dennis, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. Do you have a Texas driver license, ma'am?
Yes,
Do you have valid liability insurance in your name?
yes, I do.
I am ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're consuming alcohol, I will put you in jail. You will not get any more PR bonds. Do you understand?
Yes,
Can you look, guys, see any prior DWIs, any other criminal history? That's anything concerning? No? Okay. How old are you, Ms. Dennis? What do you do for a living?
I'm a hostess.
Where at?
Grillia.
Okay. Are you in school or just, did you want to apply for an appointed lawyer, man?
Did I walk in the phone?
You want to apply for one, or are you going to go hire a lawyer?
Probably go hire one.
Okay. Do it quick. Don't wait, because there's a lot of timing requirements with the DWI. So don't sit there and wait a month or 2 months because you're only hurting yourself. For now, I'm going to have you go to Victoria, sign a reset. After that, you'll get with Rachel for your bond conditions, and then you're free to go. You will be randomly tested. Don't consume alcohol. Don't use any dope. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time with me. Do you understand that? Okay. Good luck.
All right, Judge, next is page 10. Drew, come on up. Go ahead and sign for yourself.
Is it Jared?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Drew, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and or a $2,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain, or you have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews. If you cannot afford a lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge.
Okay.
On September 10th, 2024, in Harris County, Texas, officer was dispatched to a scene where the witness stated she was driving northbound on the 2500 block of Scott Street when she observed a tan pickup truck stopped at the roadway in lane number 2. The witness stated that when she pulled up on the side of the vehicle, she observed the vehicle running with the driver asleep behind the wheel. The witness stated she attempted to wake him up first by knocking on the window, but the defendant did not wake up, so she opened the door and poked him with a water bottle in an effort to wake him up, but stated he remained asleep. Witness stated she then called the fire department once she saw that he wasn't waking up. After Houston Fire Department completed their medical assessment of the defendant, the officer began his investigation. While speaking with the defendant, the officer immediately detected a moderate odor of an alcoholic beverage emanating from his person. And during the inventory search of the vehicle, the officer discovered a small baggie of what appeared to be powdered cocaine on the passenger seat. Further search revealed 2 additional small baggies of powdered cocaine on the driver's side floorboard. Officer then conducted a standard field sobriety test. HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 2 out of 8, and a 1-leg stand score of 4 out of 4. The defendant was detained and was read the DIC. The defendant consented to a breath sample and blew 0.91 and 0.94. The powder cocaine.
09. He'd be dead.
Or
Right? 0.09?
wait, it says 0.94, but I believe it was a typo. So yes,
Yeah, it's got to be 0.09.
Yes.
Otherwise, he'd be dead.
And the powder cocaine weighed approximately 0.64 grams. The described 3 small baggies contained 0.08 grams, each totaling 0.24 grams.
Okay. Do you mind checking to see if he has any prior DWIs? Mr. Drew?
Right, Your Honor.
Mr. Drew, I'm going to find that there's probable cause to go forward with the case. I'm now sending you for a drug test. I want to know what, if anything, is in your system. I'm going to have you come back and then we'll talk about your lawyer situation. I'm ordering you as a condition of your bond not to consume alcohol, illegal drugs, or unprescribed controlled medication. I'm going to randomly test you. If I find that you're using cocaine, I'm going to put you in the jail and I'm going to put you in a rehab facility. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a Texas driver license?
Yes, sir.
Do you have liability insurance in your name?
Yes, sir.
Can you also run his license, please?
Yes, sir. There's no prior DWIs.
Got it. Okay, so I'm sending you now for a drug test. You must come back and then we'll get you with the rest of your bond conditions, sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna have you sign a reset and then we'll send you down. William Michael Thompson?
Yes, sir.
Sir, you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing 6 months in jail. Sorry, is it Class A? You're facing up to a year in jail and or a $4,000 fine. We're going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present during questions and interviews with the state of Texas. If you cannot afford a lawyer, the lawyer will be appointed to represent you, sir.
Yes, Judge. On September 12th, 2024, officer was traveling westbound on the South Sam Houston Parkway, a public roadway in Harris County, Texas, when the officer observed a stopped car in the third moving lane of traffic with its lights off. The officer found the driver to be asleep in the driver's seat and made contact with the driver, waking him up with his flashlight. The officer observed him to be confused, unable to unlock his door, and upon opening the door, the officer observed glassy eyes, slurred speech, and the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant's person. The defendant admitted to coming from a party where he had been drinking. The officer detained the defendant and relocated the scene to a nearby parking lot for scene safety. The defendant consented to standard field sobriety test, HGN 6 out of 6, walk and turn 8 out of 8, one leg stand 3 out of 4. Defendant was read the DIC and consented to breath. The defendant blew a 0.167 and a 0.168. Defendant found to be on bond for DWI out of Fort Bend County from 2024.
He's on bond right now for another DWI.
Yes, Your
Oh,
Honor.
hell no.
Leave on, Your Honor. It looks like it may have been disposed. I'll check.
Please.
There's no disposition known in the NTSC, so I don't know. It's just open. I can see if I can find
Is
out.
your DWI currently open in Montgomery County
Or in Fort Bend County.
or Fort Bend County?
Yes.
They gave you a PR bond in this case. I'm taking away your PR bond, sir. I'm taking you into custody now. And I'm going to tell you now, I'm taking away your privilege to drive and I'm giving you a curfew so you're not out in the middle of the night, and I'm going to put an ankle monitor on you. If I find that you're out in the middle of the night or you consume alcohol, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail and a $500 fine every time you either get in a car and drive or consume alcohol. I will have a hearing. If they prove it to me, I will slap you with 180 days. And if you continue to consume alcohol, I will put you in a rehab facility. If I find that you drive a car, then I'll put you in jail for up to 6 months every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Don't send him down, please, because I'm going to need him to sign a whole host of conditions.
Your condition right now says no driving. I'd like to address that, but on the amount of bond, if you would consider he makes $300 a week, he works for his dad. They do driving things. They
No, you don't. Not gonna-
well, he's a courier. He wasn't a courier this night in question. Okay, so
So,
then,
go ahead.
so you have that tool, it sounds like, no driving. he lives with his grandmother. He has some bills and he makes about $1,200 a month. Right now, he's spent what he has and he has to reach out to other family members for any kind of assistance. So he has a good family. They're certainly want to help, but they don't have a lot of means either. And he's going to have to deal with Fort Bend now in a way that he's probably going to hopefully get a straight probation out there and work something out here in some form or fashion at some expedition point. I mean, there's some issues in this case, but
Mr. Thompson, I want you to understand that when I have someone that comes into my court with multiple DWIs, I usually set bonds somewhere in the neighborhood of around $15,000 to $20,000, if not higher. That's what I normally do. When someone has 2 open DWIs, I always take their privilege to drive away from me. Why would we put and endanger the streets of Harris County when you have repeatedly shown that you failed to care about any bond conditions? You've repeatedly shown that. So I'm sorry, Troy, I'm not gonna let him drive. He's got 2 open DWIs. Not only that, but I don't want him out in the middle of the night. I'm going to give you a curfew. And I'm going to, on one ankle, I'm going to put a scram ankle monitor so I know that you're not consuming alcohol. On your other ankle, you're going to get a GPS monitor so I know that you're not out in the middle of the night. And I'm going to tell you now, if I find that you drive, I will have a contempt hearing. You'll be facing an additional 6 months in jail every time you drive. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Hopefully now we will get your attention. And to me, if you think that you're going to garner any sympathy because you live with grandma or they make $300 a day, nope. Luckily, no one was really injured, because then you would really be up Shisa Creek. And then you'd really be in custody with bonds in the quadruple to quintuple digits. Do you understand? I can't, because $500 is something that we give to someone on usually a first offense. I have another guy here with another DWI, a $500 bond. Someone who has 3 open cases, 2 of them being very dangerous cases. I can't possibly do that. And I'm going to tell you, quite frankly, you're lucky that it's now only at $5,000, because ask me. I always set it at $15,000 to $20,000 on a second DWI. So if you now get a taste of jail, perhaps that's what it needs. I will say this, Troy, that I will waive the fee on all of his devices that he's going to have, because that'll save him a pretty penny right there. I'm waiving all your fees, which right now, garnering everything that I have on you now, is probably going to be around, $1,200 to $1,500 a month in fees that I'm waiving. So, and because so, I will not entertain any excuses from you. Do you understand? All right. Good luck.